Hello everyone. Hello everyone. Welcome to today's accounting lesson. In today's lesson, we are going to learn about one of the most important concepts in accounting, which is trial balance. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to explain the meaning of trial balance and purpose of trial balance, preparation of trial balance. So let's get started. So before we start, let us quickly revise our peer knowledge in journal and ledger. Journal and ledger. Suppose you have a small stationery business and you sell a pen to your customer. This is a transaction. Okay, this is a business transaction. Where do we record this transaction first? Yes, we record business transactions first in the journal. After preparing the journal, what do we do next? Yes, we transfer the journal entries or post the journal entries to the respective ledger accounts. So, once a transaction takes place, we first record it in the journal, then we transfer it to the respective ledger accounts. Now let us move on to our topic, trial balance. Do you know anything about trial balance? Okay. Why do we prepare a trial balance? What is the purpose of preparing trial balance? Do you know? Okay, let's get check this. We prepare a trial balance to check whether any errors or mistakes have occurred while recording transactions in the journal and posting them to the ledger accounts. That means we prepare a trial balance to find out whether there are any errors or mistakes happened when recording and posting process. Okay. Let me give you a simple example. Suppose we have a business transaction. We record the transaction in the journal and then post it to the ledger accounts. While doing this, we may make some mistakes. To find out these mistakes, we prepare trial balance. Okay. So the meaning of trial balance is a list of the balances on the accounts, the ledger at a certain date. It checks the arithmetical accuracy of bookkeeping. Okay. An important thing to remember when preparing a trial balance is that the total of all debit balances should be equal to the credit balances. So, the debit balance equal to credit balance in trial balance. Okay. So the purpose of trial balance is, we already discussed it check the arithmetical accuracy of bookkeeping and it helps to locating errors, and it also help to preparing financial statements. Now let us move on to the rules we follow while preparing a trial balance. That is, all expenses, assets, drawings have debit balances, so they are recorded on the debit side of the trial balance. All liabilities, incomes, and capital have credit balances, so they are recorded on the credit side of the trial balance. To remember this rule easily, we can use a simple trick. That is, we can say dead and click. You can read here this dead and this click. D stands for debit, E stands for expense, A stands for assets, D stands for drawings. So these items are debit item. And then you can read here click, C for credit, L for liability, I for income, C for capital. So these items should be credited in the trial balance. This trick helps us remember the rules and prepare a trial balance easily. Now let us look at the format of a trial balance. When we preparing a trial balance, the first step is to write the heading. Here we have different columns: details, folio, debit, and credit. Under the details column, we write the names of ledger accounts. The corresponding amounts are entered in the debit or credit column based on their balances. By following these steps, we can easily prepare a trial balance. Now let us prepare a simple trial balance together. Okay. That time you can easily understand how to prepare a trial balance. Okay. Here you can see J Trader list of balances from their books. Let us prepare a trial balance using these items. Here you can see the question and we already discussed the rules. You can see here the rules also. I read these each items by one. That time you pause the video and remind these are credit or debit and answer it. Then play the video. You should check these correct or incorrect. Okay. You can also refer to the rules we discussed earlier. So let's start. The first item is sales. Here sales. Can you tell me sales is income or expense? Okay, sales is income. So income is credited in the trial balance. Here you can see the rule. So we can credited the sales. Here we can enter the amount 86,000. Then next item is purchases. Purchases is expense. So according to our rule, where do we record expense in the trial balance? Okay, great. purchases will be recorded in the debit side because it is an expense. So then next item is bank overdraft. Bank overdraft is a liability. According to our rule, liabilities are recorded on the credit side of the trial balance. So bank overdraft will be credited in the trial balance. Here we can enter the amount. The next item is cash. Cash is an asset, so it will be recorded in the debit side. Here you can see the rule, assets is enter in the debit column. So we can enter the amount here. The next item is trade payables. Trade payables is liability, so it will be enter in the credit column. The next item is trade receivables. Trade receivables is an asset, so it will be recorded in the debit side. Next, furniture and equipment also an asset. Next item is wages. Wages, sundry expenses and rent. This is a typing mistake. This is rent expenses, not rent payable. So wages, sundry expenses, rent expenses is expenses, so it will be debited in the expenses will be debited in the trial balance. So here can enter the amount. The next item is purchase return. Do you know what purchase return means? Suppose you buy goods from a supplier, but some goods are damaged or not as per your requirement. You return those goods back to the supplier. This is called purchase return. Since purchase return reduces our purchases, it has a credit balance, so therefore it is recorded on the credit side of the trial balance. So we can enter here. Next item is inventory. Inventory is an asset, so it will be debit side. It will be recorded in the debit side of the trial balance. Here you can see assets is recorded in the debit side. So inventory. The next item is drawings. Drawings have a debit balance, so it will be recorded on the debit side of the trial balance. Then the last item is capital. Capital is credit item, so it will be recorded on the credit side of the trial balance. Okay, finally let us total the trial balance. Okay, here you can see the total debit balance and total credit balance is equal. What can we understand from this? Yes, it indicates that the accounting records are arithmetically accurate. We can assume that there are no errors in the recording and posting process. that affect the equality of debit and credit balances. Now let us think about another situation. Here is Bangodi. I skip this. So this time you can see the debit balance is not equal to credit balance. What can we understand from that? Yes, it indicates that there may be some errors in the accounting process, such as errors in the recording transactions or posting them to the ledger accounts. And then here I enter the amount. So this time you can see the balances are equal. So we can understand that if we skip or any errors happen, that time the trial balance totals are not equal. That time we can understand any errors has happened. Okay, that's all for today's class. Before we end, let us quickly revise what we learned today. Today we learned that what a trial balance is, why we prepare it and how to prepare it. We also learned that the total of the debit balance should always be equal to the total of credit balance. Okay. List of balances of all ledger account at a particular date. Detect errors in the recording and posting. I hope you all are understand this topic. Thank you for watching and I will see you in the next lesson. If you found this lesson helpful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more IGCSE accounting lessons. Thank you and see you next time.